Hey, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning. We apologize. We haven't had this in several weeks, but the Wi-Fi was having a little problem on the internet, so we went down and we reset everything thanks to Sam and Amanda over there. And if we can get Lisa or you guys to start blasting out, we're back live on Facebook and stuff like that. I appreciate it. So we're back. Dr. Whaley here is with me. How you doing, Dr. Whaley?
I'm doing great, thanks.
You wanna go right into question?
Huh?
It's orange again.
You went orange again?
Go ahead, but it's orange.
You need to know about the tie. The tie is my prayer breakfast tie from yesterday. I think if you watch what he said yesterday, he was much calmer, or more calm, which is right, more calm than he was the year before, trying to take pressure off the budget. And I am convinced that the budget passed of the Republican spenders drink rum.
All right. And
All right.
why would you?
Stuck in his wallet. So the Cuban rum recipe left Cuba when Fidel Castro took over Cuba. And they began making rum in Puerto Rico and in the Virgin Islands called Havana Club rum. And they've been in the international courts for 30 years with Cuba fighting Bacardi over the name Havana rum. You still with me?
Yes.
Well, you notice that the spending bill had a extender for the tax cut for the horse racers, the NASCAR drivers, the movie producers, and the rum business. Now they had to give the tax breaks to the American rum business in Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands to give them a level playing field. All in the rest of the world selling American Havana rum face to face against Cuban rum. Which is supplemented by the government. So that's clearly why they spent that
I don't know, but I could always count. I can always count on you to figure out another part of.
And I'm going to say another thing. You were saying, what do they lead with on television?
Yes.
The 8 o'clock lead while you were sitting here fighting with the internet. All across there was, White House is known for many months about the sexual abuse. Not one single solitary thing about any of the memos or
nothing.
Nothing.
No,
and now, to me, that's a non-story. House, and they kept showing Kelly's picture, and kept showing the picture of the president getting off the helicopter. 12 minutes worth of that on Morning Joe or whoever. No, Morning Joe. The White House was complicit in covering up sexual abuse. Anyway,
the domestic violence, and it's like I said, I by no means do I want to have anything said. I want to take it serious. but it just seems like they find these opportune times to release information. It's not whether it's to be taken serious or not. It's just, it seems like these opportune times for them to release information about the time other things are going on, to take the lead away from,
I'll be darned.
I just
Deflection.
deflection. Okay, the deflection.
Yeah.
Well, Dr. Whaley,
Let's go to questions.
Yes, let's
You got
go
some
to
great
question,
questions.
because what's going to happen is we can't take away from the All-Star panel getting their
Yeah.
point of view in.
Oh, you'll not smell it. Kill me.
Exactly.
All right.
All right. Will a person with type 2 diabetes under control end up with the need for insulin?
You got that chart up there for the validated therapies for diabetes. I don't want everybody to try and read it, but the crucial part of that question, it's such a great question. I thought, my goodness, we could do hours on this, but the crucial piece of that question is under control. And the answer is, if it's under control, and then the chances that you'll end up needing a change in therapy are not great, but they're not zero either. And the reason that I wanted to show that kind of a complicated chart there was that type 2 diabetes covers such a huge spectrum that the initial diagnosis, the height of the blood sugar, the height of the A1C, you've heard A1C before, all A1, blood sugar just tells you what your blood sugar is right this minute.
Right.
So if I eat a donut, it's going to be high. But the A1C actually is an average of what your blood sugar has been for 100 days. And it's that number that's most important, because when you walk in the doctor's office, if it's early in the morning, you've had nothing since supper the night before, it's going to be low. If it's immediately after a meal, it's going to be high. That blood sugar is not near as important. So anyway, if the A1C is high, then the initial management of the diabetes is probably going to include insulin. But if the person's overweight and can lose a substantial amount of weight, show that next slide there, the one that's got the weight loss thing on it. This shows how much a reduction in body weight might be expected to lower your blood sugar as the very first step in diabetic management. So as I've said here before many times, I always like to use the analogy of the three-legged stool. If you sit on a one-legged milking stool, platform, 2 legs, no platform, 3 legs, you can sit on it and it'll hold you up. So the three-legged stool of diabetic management before you begin taking any kind of medicine by mouth or insulin is weight reduction. That's what the chart shows you. Carbohydrate restriction, just change your diet. And third, exercise, because exercise burns up blood sugar without requiring insulin. And so at the end of the day, I have seen many patients, and I just figured out last night, I hate to say it, this is my 55th year in medicine since I entered medical school. And I have seen legions, huge numbers of people who were diabetic, who either had a gastric bypass or some other procedure and lost 200 pounds, and they were no longer diabetic, hypertensive, or anything else, or were modestly overweight and lost 20 pounds, 25 pounds, their blood sugar came to normal and it stayed normal. So that's a small group of type 2 diabetics. Their blood sugars weren't too high to start with. They're under good control. That group over time might end up having to take a pill. But those ones that have lost the weight, are on the diet, doing the exercise, and the question says under good control, can if they're properly managed, they get their A1C checked every 6 months by their doctor. And by the way, that's the official recommendation for checking an A1C in a diabetic if you're under good control every 6 months. If you're under bad control, it's every 3 months. 3 months, pretty close to 100 days, isn't it? So
Right.
It tells you what happens to your blood sugar. Then you can probably stay off insulin. Go ahead. That's enough of that one.
Well, so when you go to your doctor and your doctor says, you know, and you do your levels when you do blood work, and the doctor says, you know, this is where you're at, but diet and exercise, you know, you need to listen to that.
That's
because
the three-legged stool.
that's the three-legged
That's the
stool.
three-legged stool. Unfortunately, I hate to, I'm not going to make an indictment, but we have some family practitioners in this area who have a very high degree of interest, and I will say expertise in the management of type 2 diabetes, and they're taking an aggressive approach to it. But there is frequently, I see people who tell me, well, my blood sugar's a little bit high, and the doctor told me I needed to go on a diet. I'm going to do that later. I think one time, maybe a year or more ago, we talked about a very famous tavern owner in Atlanta who had a tavern with his name on it there on Highland Avenue, where all of the politicians in Atlanta used to have breakfast, the white politicians, or lunch. There was one place for the African Americans, and this was Manuel's Tavern. Remember Manuel's Tavern in Atlanta?
No, I really don't. But
Oh, everybody knows Manuel's Tavern. Anyway, Manuel was a type 2 diabetic, and he became an advocate, but Manuel was a touch on the overweight side, and he ended up with diabetic-related blindness and bilateral leg amputations. And one of my partners treated him, and Manuel just he just couldn't follow instructions. And so you have to take the goal of therapy of the patient at the time of diagnosis, make them totally understand if your A1C is 8 or 8.5 and normal is 5 or 5.5 or 5.5, and you stay this way, you are going to go blind if you live long enough. Your kidneys are going to die if you live long enough. You're going to get numb in your feet if you live long enough. You're going to become impotent if you live long enough, and you might have an amputation. Now, that's what happens if you don't follow instructions. Do you want that or not? And then lean on them enough to get the A1C corrected. But anyway, back to the question. If they're under good control, no, they don't take insulin. So
that's an important subject. Is there a genetic factor to strokes? Is there a genetic factor to strokes?
Love this question because I could spend another hour on it. Put up that differential diagnosis of stroke there, because this is a bit of a definition issue. What is a stroke? That's a good question, right? What is a stroke? A stroke covers, you see that chart there has got about 15 or 20 lines on it. Every one of those lines, if you can read, you think people on TV can read the title?
Yes.
The title says Acute Stroke Differential Diagnosis. And there are 15 things there that all would present in the emergency room with what you would call a stroke. And they begin with a migraine. A premature migraine. Second would be some sort of a seizure, epileptic spell. Then there would be high blood pressure, hysteria, psychiatric disorder, infection, subdural hematoma, reaction to a medication or a drug. So all of those things that can be called a stroke, the answer to the question is no. Now, what's the sort of medical definition of a stroke? There are two kinds. One is when you have a thrombosis or an embolus to an artery that goes to the brain, think heart attack. And the second is when you have a hemorrhage in the brain. My father's stroke at age 73 was a bleed into the brain caused by an elevation in his blood pressure. He had high blood pressure, treated the way they treated it in the 70s, and his blood pressure, I'm confident, went up in the nighttime one night, and he bled into his brain. So that type of a stroke, a hemorrhagic stroke, the result of high blood pressure, is certainly hereditary, because high blood pressure is hereditary. Most strokes are the blood vessel getting the flow cut down because you either have a clot in the blood vessel or you flip a clot from your heart, And that generally then is cholesterol, diabetes, which we just got through talking about, cigarette smoking, which was we've talked about before. But the diabetes, the hypertension, the obesity, the hypercholesterolemia, all of that is genetic. And so controlling those risk factors, if your grandfather died at 55 or 60 of a stroke, and both of his brothers died at some time or other, less than 80 of something they called a stroke, and then you've got high blood pressure, your cholesterol's elevated or something, that is the congenital genetic linkage that causes stroke, and it's time to go lose weight and get the diabetes controlled and control the blood pressure. So the answer to the question is yes.
Our final question this morning, what exactly is a spinal block, a spine? What exactly is a spine block injection? Will it work long-term for low back pain due to disc problems?
You got that picture for me? Now, I know they can see that one. That's a pretty good picture there.
Is that it?
That's it right there.
I can't see it. Let me see it.
You want to look at it?
Yeah, because
All right. This is a picture of the lumbosacral spine at the sacrum, and it shows a needle going in two different approaches to reach the subdural space to perform an epidural steroid injection. I've had a number of those myself, none of which were long-term successful in relieving my back pain, but those are the type of injections that have the distinct possibility for a herniated disc that is swollen, of shrinking that disc down, and then hopefully, assuming that you don't have another something happen, can be long-term successful. Unfortunately, the marketing industry, and you watch TV ads about spinal injection, there are 15 different types of things that are not what that picture shows, that are not proven to work. Insurance generally doesn't pay for them, so they're expensive, and people are doing dozens of them every day. There's a clinic in Chattanooga, there's 4 of them in Atlanta, I think there's one in Gainesville. They have beautiful ads on television, and they are doing injections into the disc. That doesn't work, and it's got hazard. And they are doing other types of blocks that I would tell you are frowned upon by the established medical community and unlikely to be successful. So the answer to the question is the right kind of block can work long-term for a herniated disc, and it can't do a thing for what I've got, which is an old back. I was 5'11" and a quarter when I took a freshman physical in college for football, and I'm 5'9" and a quarter now, and that 3 inches is all pounded down in my back, and no amount of those spinal injections is going to help. So my back surgeon asked me one day, says, how many guys do you know that are 65 years old or older that used to be athletes that don't have a backache? And the answer is, I don't know any. So to answer the question, yes, the spinal injections can do well, particularly in a younger person with a herniated disc. And are they going to help an old guy like me? And the answer is no.
Dr. Whaley, I appreciate it. Those were 3 great questions this week. And obviously, we are very interested in, it's a serious question when we talk about diabetes, strokes, and lower back pain. And those are 3 major topics in America that are discussed all the time. We want to thank the Georgia Cancer Specialists for always supporting this segment and sponsoring this segment with Dr. Whaley. Ask the Doc. If you ever have a question for Dr. Whaley, you can send it to info, I-N-F-O, at Fetcher News. Put in the subject line, Ask the Doc. Let us know. We'll get it to Dr. Whaley. We did get a little long on the diabetes, stroke, and back pain, but I never want to leave without giving you an opportunity for a final comment, final thought, or...
All right, well, you started this morning with what are they covering? So here are 4 televisions where we talked about the White House knew about the sex abuse. That 4 televisions is on the Winter Olympics. And there is a real opportunity for disaster in the Winter Olympics beginning about 7 or 8 days ago.
It doesn't involve curling, right?
No.
All right, just checking, because
All right.
that's the only disaster I'd be concerned about.
7 or 8 days ago, 41 security guards, all of them in one venue, came down with the norovirus.
Yes.
And you remember that's the cruise ship virus. They quickly isolated those people, thought that they perhaps had it under control. And having worked behind the scenes in the Olympics, I can tell you exactly what happened next was it entered the organizing committee. That's the people in Korea that have been working on this for a year and have devoted themselves to the Olympics. It hit them on Tuesday, and then yesterday showed up, and what's the worst people it could show up in? The cafeteria workers. So now it's in all three venues of the Olympics. No athletes had yet been struck because the athletes weren't there yet. Remember, opening ceremonies were yesterday or 36 hours ago, depending on what's over there. But the norovirus is in the cafeteria workers, the security guards, and the people that work there. And I'm of the opinion that you'll probably find it in some athletes who are going to compete, but they're probably going to end up taking IV fluids before they go, and their competition might be messed up by it. So I think that's something we should keep our eye on. The flu epidemic, I watch the obituaries every day. It's gotten worse since last week. And I noticed this morning, after I went to Atlanta yesterday to be with the family of a good friend of mine who died. But I noticed that I always watch what people die of, and in the Atlanta paper today, there's a very healthy 64-year-old athlete who died of the flu. And I mentioned last week the cheerleader and the basketball player who had died, and we're having a tremendous amount of people dying of the flu, and it's still not too late to go get your flu shot.
Thank you, Dr. Whaley. We appreciate Georgia. We're at Circuit World in Blue Ridge here, and I'm your host, BKP. We're going to take a brief break, and as soon as we return, we'll have our all-star panel with us. Again, thank you very much.
Kenty Artesian Silver and Gifts, the Peruvian shop, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Fine sterling silver, luxurious baby alpaca and exotic woods. A beautiful selection of exquisitely crafted gifts for all of your special occasions. Visit our website, artesiansilvergifts.com, or follow us on Twitter at Artesian Silver Gifts. Kenty Artesian Silver and Gifts, the Peruvian shop in downtown Blue Ridge. Papa's Pizza to Go in downtown Blue Ridge is the best in the area all-you-can-eat buffet. Call ahead or order online now at Papa's Pizza to Go to subs, wings, breadsticks, salads, and more. And be sure to check out our lively game room. We serve lunch and dinner. In Papa's Pizza to Go in Blue Ridge, proud sponsors of the Fannin County Rebels.
And we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning. We apologize for technical Wi-Fi issues. Our Wi-Fi connection may not be strong enough this morning, so we're trying to go hardwire this morning and see if that stays. Are we still red on there? Okay, we'll see if the hardwire works, and then that's maybe what we need to do from here on out just to make it happen. So we're back here with the All-Star Political Panel with Rick, Bruce, and Jane. How are you?
I'm well.
I thought I was supposed to be you here and you here, but that's
I just
okay.
scooted over because I was sitting in front of your computer.
But that's okay.
You want to switch?
No, not at all. I'm okay.
I
I'm
like
okay.
sitting next to Rick, though.
I'm okay. No, I'm okay. I'm fine. I just.
I know. I get your back
Fine,
a lot
fine,
when
super
I'm
fine.
over here.
No, I'm fine. I'm just used to looking this way and being able. Now I'll have to look over here. Then I have to come back to you. It's okay.
At the break, we're changing. I don't like it
No.
over here, actually.
You don't?
No, I don't like it over
Well,
here.
you stay put.
You know what I don't like? I don't like that we got to watch this.
MSNBC.
I think
JR
that's
was gonna
why-
change it.
I think that's why the signal's all screwed up
I think
this
so
morning.
too. I think so too.
By the way, I got a haircut.
I noticed you got a haircut. That's nice.
I'm practicing on people, and I'd like to practice on you. I've got some new little hair shear things. Can we do it online if I donate so much to so much?
We're going to talk about my haircut. You know what? You know what you guys?
Might as well.
No, you know what you're doing right now? You're doing exactly. You're using a diversion of the real news. You're switching over. You are as bad.
Well,
right
zero
now.
in.
But it's
No,
not
you
fake
are.
news.
No,
though. It's
you're
not
as
fake.
bad right now. Right now, you are as bad as like
Thanks,
MSNBC.
That is the worst insult I have ever had.
That's what they would
I
start
am
a segment
outta here.
with. Is Trump going to get a haircut? Is Trump? Yeah.
All right,
better
let's,
watch
let's
it.
get
Those
back.
are
Let's get
fighting
back on
words.
track here.
Yeah,
Where we
let's
going?
dial
No,
in.
you're the ones that started out with fake news. I'm sorry.
We're in for a ride today, guys.
I reckon.
Okay. Okay, let's get serious.
Okay.
What? Okay, here's a new segment. You know, I'll just invent a new segment all of a sudden.
Go for it, Chief.
Got a new segment coming, Amanda.
What upset you the most this week? All of the news out there, like what can you zero in that has frustrated you the most this week?
That Strzok still has his security clearance. I mean, that's
Okay.
one thing that's frustrating. Plus, they still have, even if they don't fire them after all of this, how can they? That's very frustrating. So you can't fire them yet, you can't put them in jail yet, but you can at least take their security clearance away. They've what's that word? They have. I don't know what that word is. It's too early. This show is too early.
We'll do a
Okay.
We'll do a Jane.
They've lost their
Jane-
credibility.
Credibility.
Their honor is gone, and they don't need
We do a
that.
cocktail hour.
What in the news? Yeah, cocktail hour with the panel.
Yeah, lunch
What
would be better.
in the news mostly frustrated you this week, Rick? I mean, Bruce. Bruce.
POTUS wants to know everything.
Otis
That
wants to know
frustrated you?
Yes, it did.
I did a dance. You mean the Obama wants to know everything?
Yeah.
Yes,
He's talking
yes.
about the text message.
They got him. They got him.
No, they don't. That's what frustrates me. Nothing's going to come of
wait
it.
a minute.
I want to double back.
We're having a
I
bet
agree with you. But how many times have we felt when we got up the next day that there was something that we got them, but what happens, right?
Give
I
them
agree with
trust-
you, but that
trust
frustrates.
the plan.
Otis wants to know everything.
Yeah.
Trust the
All right.
plan.
And
And
you?
he lied. I mean, he was on
Right.
with Chris Wallace, I believe.
Yeah,
And he absolutely swore that he doesn't get involved.
I guarantee.
Scum
I
suck
guarantee.
and
with the
fly.
I
Department of
guarantee.
Justice.
I guarantee, Chris. Chris, how many times do I have to say it? I guarantee. Chris, I can't say it again, right?
Yeah, what frustrates me is the absolute lack of coverage by everybody under the sun except for Fox about all of the
Now,
shenanigans.
if you're listening to all the undercover people that know what they're talking about, they know that you can't just go arrest them now. You got to follow the plan, or the country would go It would,
In
it
the
would
tank.
go into flames. It would absolutely, they'd tear
Yeah.
the cities down. They
No,
have
you
to
gotta
go
follow the
very,
rule of
very
law.
slowly because it's going to be so devastating. And I said this here today, and you can mark my words. It's going to be so devastating. This world has never seen anything like this. You're going to see that. And they have to go very slowly. And just like they say, just be patient and trust the plan because they are on it. They are on it. I'll promise you that.
Okay. All right. Now,
What's frustrated you?
Yeah, you missed
Yeah,
Rick.
yeah. What's frustrating?
No,
you?
you
No,
said,
I said.
well,
lack of coverage.
well, every day it's like Groundhog Day, and every day I wake up thinking today is the day that the media is going to have no choice but to come on. It's going to be that day, and we're going to turn on, and I mean all the media, and they're going to look at the camera and say, America, we've been lying to you all this time, and we have no choice. The evidence is so surmountable. It's so in our face. We have to come and apologize to America, and we can no longer run cover for the corruption. I keep thinking, today's got to be the day they're going to do it. Today's got to be the day, and it doesn't happen. But what frustrated me the most is, I think today's the day the Tea Party died. Tea Party's over. It's done.
I don't know why the Tea Party died.
It died. It died this morning at 6
budget
o'clock
deal.
when the House, it's over. The Republicans, and
But
there are, now wait a minute, isn't that daggone Bruce, did I throw the button when you were there? Give me just a second, okay? The Republicans,
We can't help it.
the Republicans, okay, now wait a minute, the Republicans, there are some out there, some. But the Republicans just told us a better lie. They are liars. I am not as upset with Chuck Schumer today or Nancy Pelosi
Oh, Lord.
as I am the Republicans.
did they just blow the 2018
No.
elections, the Republicans?
No.
He actually said something nice about me.
I did. No, I didn't. There's a reason.
I'll never forget
wait a
that.
minute. Stay with Jane. I know you'll never forget. Jane,
I'll never forget that.
Okay, listen, come here. Let me explain you real clear why I'm not as upset. You need the love bear? Put that over here.
I'm going to throw
Let me
it.
explain to you why I'm not as upset. Stop it. I'm going to say a bad word, and I don't on Fridays.
Come on.
Thank God.
Okay, I'm not as upset with Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer as I am Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan because I know the devil. I know them.
Comrade Crumbcake? You're
I
not upset
don't-
with her?
No,
No,
I
you can put it this
expected.
way.
I
I
did
am-
not. I know them. I know what they're going to do. I'm not upset that Nancy Pelosi went on there for 8 hours and, her grandkid's birthday wish was to be a little Mexican. All right? I could care less. All right? Right?
No,
and I
brown
could care
skin.
less. Brown
Guatemalan.
skin, Guatemalan. All right. But anyhow, I could care less. That doesn't bother me. I knew Nancy would do that, right? You knew Nancy would do that. You know Chuck comes out, lies on the camera, and has a tear in his eye, right? I'm not. Okay, here's the thing. It's a word. They didn't let me down. I know who they are. They don't let me down when they
You
come
know
to the
who
camera.
McConnell is and
But
Paul
what I'm
Ryan.
saying is the
They're
Republicans.
snakes.
Yeah, but the
They're
Republicans.
snakes.
Where do we go now?
Well, we got a big problem.
Bruce, now wait a minute. Bruce.
Can I get my butt in now?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, right.
I'm not. No comment.
That's
Yes.
a one T
Don't
butt.
you-
Put
Don't
your
you-
butt right in
That's
it.
a one T butt.
Don't you think out of the ashes of the Tea Party, as you've written them off, something new will arise?
Okay. Oh, wait.
Let's get going,
Wait. All right. But I think it's going to take me all next week to explain why the Tea Party I feel is dead, and I go to Tea Party meetings. Wait a minute. Let me just say this. All right. Here, let me give you my credentials. All right. You got to have credentials if you're going to talk, right?
How long is this going to take?
So we all got to get our wallets out?
I got up and came
No,
in
you
here
don't have
so
to clear your
hungry.
cash.
Clear your what?
Nothing. Inside joke. Inside joke.
Inside
Oh, I got to realize that. You don't have to clear your cash.
I didn't know the site allowed that yet.
She said, "Clear your cash," and I'm counting 1, 2. How long before Bruce says? I will tell you the story later. Here's all right. Listen,
We're losing
so,
it here.
So,
I'm taking over in a minute.
so you remember the birth of the Tea Party moment. Remember, Rick Santelli comes out of the Chicago Tax Exchange.
Yep.
And he comes out to the fountain and he throws tea in there and he threw a big fit, right? Right, remember that, right? So then 1 million supposedly people, because, the park people said in D.C. said 50,000 showed up, and then they said 300, but 1 million people went to Washington, D.C., right, and made signs that said kill the bill and everything like that, and that was the 1 million people that went to Washington, D.C. that held signs. I was there. I went, okay? My sister at that time, her brother-in-law worked for AOL, and she lived 60 miles out of D.C., she lived 60 miles out of D.C. We went up. We all got together there. My sister, the whole family got together. Lisa, boom. We set up that night. We made our signs in the living room floor. Kill the bill. Read the bill. Boom. With magic markers, poster board. We go down to the train station 60 miles outside of Washington, D.C., and we're wondering if anybody's going to go to this thing. Is anybody going to go? Right? Yeah. We hear about it. So we go to the train station 60 miles out of D.C., and we get on there, and it's shoulder to shoulder. That morning already, we were like, oh my God. So we get there, we're there, and we're marching, and we got signs holding up, read the bill, kill the bill, all that. And last night on the floor, a Republican-led Congress passed a 700-page piece of legislation printed out at midnight that increased spending $400 billion, and only Rand Paul stood on the floor. Only.
Yes, he did.
And I will explain. The Tea Party, where we at?
Well, I'm kind of.
I don't know if you understand where I'm going with that.
They've been dead for a while, though. They've been silent. They really just did a smear. They, meaning the opposition, kind of smeared the Tea Party. They sent in people with guns, took pictures, made them look like they were white supremacists. I mean,
right?
They really got annihilated.
Exactly.
I'm with Bruce. Why don't? I mean, you're hoping maybe something with a different name can evolve. It cannot be.
How upset are you over that budget deal this morning?
Well, now that I've learned more about it, I've been really involved with the memos. I haven't watched much about the budget.
Could we get an outline of the budget? Because I know someone's got that.
Someone's got an outline that explains it very well, and I'm trying to listen.
I had it up this morning. I was looking at.
I was sleeping then.
Go ahead, Rick. The domestic spend. Go ahead, Rick. Coming to you. Wait a minute. Hold on. I'm going to set it up. The guy right here, Rick, with the new haircut. What's a cut like that cost?
$12.
$12. I could do that for $12.
$12.
Okay.
Depending where you go.
I'm telling you.
Depending where you go.
Huh?
That's right.
Depending where you go.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they're actually online making me an appointment now. They started a hashtag last week. So anyway, okay. Bullet points.
$300 billion in additional funding for defense and non-defense over the next 2 years. That's what encapsulates the budget. $300 billion increase. $165 billion in defense spending, $85 in fiscal 18, $85 in fiscal 19. I'm good with that. I'm good with the military. The sequestration is gone. I'm okay with that. Debt ceiling deadline suspension for 1 year. $6 billion over 2 years to combat opioids. Your favorite topic. $20 billion over 2 years for new infrastructure. Additional 4 years of funding for the Children's Health Insurance Program for a total of 10 years. An extension of funding for community health centers and a variety of other Medicare programs. Close to an additional $90 billion in funding for areas affected by natural disasters, including Puerto Rico.
That's because FEMA's out of money.
Yeah. $2 billion over 2 years for the National Institute of Health. That's the Cliff Notes version of the budget passed last night and getting ready to be signed by.
Are you okay with what they did? Yes or no?
No.
Are you okay with what they did?
With the military, yes. With the rest of it, no.
Okay, I'm patriotic. And I'm even no on what they did with the military. I'm patriotic. Don't you go throw no stones at me. Because let me tell you something. When the Pentagon can find $800 million they lost, then we'll talk about giving you some more. All right? And you?
Ask me about the memos.
Okay.
Really, I haven't studied
no,
this.
I'm with you.
sorry, I just haven't studied
Let me
it,
go
so I'm
back
not
to
going to
the,
make
let me go back to
anything.
the Pentagon for a second.
All right, you're going to give you a whole memo segment because that's big, and I know you've studied that.
You know, the last
Thanks.
three
Relax.
administrations never, ever imposed an audit on the Pentagon. Whose fault is that? Not the Pentagon's fault. There's no oversight.
I'm
There's
not-
no oversight done.
It's the whole
They just
thing.
started to audit now, the Pentagon.
The government is too big for their own britches. I mean, they can't do anything right. I'm reading a book now on the housing crisis. It's incredible how
How that
out of
happened.
control things were. They didn't even know what was going on in their own house.
They didn't.
And it's only gotten worse.
I agree with you, and if we had time, and let's do that later, because I don't want to come across that listen, there's certain things that I take caution with is okay, these sneaky snake politicians go out and yell military. That I don't, let's get our flags and go out and say we support the military. We support our veterans. Now, because I do. I want to be careful with that. But do you understand? I'm not trusting them to be the ones to come out and wave the flag for us all the time.
Unfortunately, they're all you got.
Very valid point, Bruce. I mean, no, that was out of the park. Just watch that thing sail out because that was a home run. Unfortunately, but what are we going to do? Because I'm not saying should there be increased military spending. Truthfully, I don't know.
Yes.
But I
Our
don't
ships
know.
don't even sail.
I agree.
Our planes don't fly.
They don't fly. We're going to
Let's
museums.
just
Okay,
fix
can we
this-
take
fix the
the
stuff we got.
military spending we have and actually make them fly?
Yes. We can fix it. It's just if they will vote to fix it. Listen, the bad guys go deep down, and I think it's like 75
All right.
Republicans and Democrats. That's got to get cleaned out before anything happens.
As I said, I don't want to come away. I do not want to come away thinking that I do not want to spend more on the military. I do not want to make our military more ready for combat if necessary. So I do support that, and I can see where some spending is necessary and increased spending. I just get a nervous wreck that of the people that are trying to sell it to me. I always get nervous of the people selling it to me. That's what it is to
valid.
me. Okay. Memo. You're right. Let's go to the memo. Which one?
my
which
God.
one?
There's 7. No, I'm joking.
No. I mean, the points they're just, in my view, they are just piling up all of these proofs, and they're letting a little bit out of time. We know that Valerie Jarrett is deeply implicated. Barack Obama's deeply in. Then we got the FBI. It's just crumbling down at the top. I have friends in the FBI down. I have a friend who actually is Pence's FBI. There, he's at his house. I mean, I know some stuff in people in the FBI, and all of it, and they're just great. But the top is just so power hungry, and it's corrupt. So the reason the media isn't saying, "Look, this is what's happening," except for Fox, this is what's happening, is they're all implicated. When you come down to it, it's all propaganda, and they're implicated in some of the more Pizzagate stuff. The media is, and they're going to be found out. They do not want this to advance, and that's why they're saying ridiculous things like they said this morning and yesterday. They don't want any of that to move. And believe me, just trust what's happening, and in 6 months you're not going to know what hit. They're not going to know what hit them, I'll promise.
Well, I tell you what the memo, the first memo the Republicans released, the fact that they used false information
The dossier.
to secure a warrant.
Tried 3 times before.
And it's not even the fact that they used false information to secure a warrant. It's the running for cover media, the running cover, not for cover, running cover media that infuriates me, because they're not that dumb. Everywhere, when you're in law enforcement, from the FBI down to your city police officer, you take certain oath. You swear that you're not going to stand before a judge, as from magistrate to federal judge, to
How
anybody.
about FBI director?
And wait a minute, you're not going to stand before them and lie to them about the facts. So when you go to get a warrant, it don't matter if it's, I know FISA warrant is different, but you got to have different people sign off. But when you go to get a warrant this morning as city police, Superior Court, federal court, FISA court, there's a judge that has to trust that you're giving them the information true and accurate to issue that warrant, no matter what level.
When you say the oath, you mean it.
Exactly. So whoever the law enforcement agency, FBI or whatever, standing before that judge said, I would like to get this warrant, here's my information. The judge doesn't take that and say, well, let me get 3 weeks to get back to you because I'm going to put a team of people on researching your research. They say, okay, don't mess with me here. Is this true? And yes, this is true. We need this warrant. It's based on this. Here's our argument. Okay, we'll grant it based on your honor. Right? You understand? Mm-hmm. And to find out that we have heard for a year Russian collusion. Let's just put it like that. But the reality is the Russian collusion is on the Democrat side.
And that's becoming very obvious.
We have heard for a year obstruction of justice. The truth is the obstruction of justice is on the other side.
I have
Okay?
an analogy.
Go ahead.
The analogy, I'm trying to think of it as we go, but let's say you owned a bank, and I own a bank, I'm the president, and all of the board are my family, and every night we go into that safe and we take out a bunch of money in our purse or in our satchel. We're out here. No, we are everybody that counts. They're tellers and they're lenders, but no one's going to investigate us because we're the only ones that are in charge and we're taking the money
the bank
out.
examiner.
And so the thing about it is that's the way the FBI and the CIA and the Congress and the House of Representatives and the President, until Trump got there, has been operating. We're going to be in here forever. Hillary's coming. We don't care if we go in there and cheat the FBI. They go 3 times. They get a FISA warrant. Heck, the judge that was doing the FISA warrants, the one that was kind of asked to leave on another, he's an Obamaite. So they thought they were just immune to anyone looking under the covers.
Above the law.
Because they were the law, they thought. And then when Trump came up and did this, that's what he's facing. It's like, okay, they've sent a new president of the bank. And he's looking at all this and he doesn't know where to start. Because the whole family's in on it. They're all sitting there. Nope, you can't have when I got in that bank. We're not giving you that record. When I got in that safe, we're not giving you any of those records. That's what he's facing.
That was a perfect analogy because I am... I'm not 100% on board with Jeff Sessions, but people think that, okay, Jeff Sessions, the Attorney General, you just go in and fix things. Well, have you ever actually looked at the actual building of the Department of Justice? It's 4 stories and it's as big as a city block, and and there's an enormous. How many probably people work for the Department of Justice? Thousands,
Tens of
right?
thousands.
Tens of thousands. So you got to start sorting through there. Just same thing with your State Department. Same thing with your same thing with all the departments that we have up there. So your analogy is great. Just because you got a new president of the bank, Jeff Sessions, or Rex Tillerson or somebody like that, they got to go in and they got to find out, hey, who is the teller in the far back that's actually cashing checks that shouldn't be, and that could take some time.
No, not the teller, the big family. The teller is the good FBI, but they don't know anything. They don't know when the president went into the bank in the middle of the night, but the timer tells you. The bank has a computer system, but they aren't going to give them any information. They know, but they're not going to let the people investigating know anything. They're holding back information. How is Trey Gowdy trying to get?
Sean is doing a good job. Nunez is doing a good job. Trey Gowdy's doing a good job. There's several that's done a great job.
Their hands are tied almost.
What
How
happens,
about the
Bruce?
Grossley memo?
Right,
I think that's more damning than the other one.
It is, of course it is.
Blumenthal. I mean,
Sid the snake.
I mean, Sid Blumenthal. I mean, just
Sid the snake.
I love the Trey Gowdy.
He's
you're
really
warm.
Repartee.
Yeah, you're pretty warm
You're pretty
there.
warm on that one.
You say, you might be pretty warm on that
Sidney
one.
Blumenthal? You're pretty warm.
Yeah.
He is so brilliant.
Going back to private practice.
What happens, Bruce?
We'll
what
see.
happens? Do we get enough evidence to indict people? Do we get enough? Do we?
Yes.
Are
Sorry,
you,
Bruce.
are you Bruce?
I'm going to go get another cup of coffee. I'll be
No,
back.
you stay right here.
Hard to say because the way the MSM circles the wagons on stuff like this, it's really hard to imagine because we think we've been on the doorstep of putting people in jail before, and it hasn't happened.
What happens, Rick?
Man, I'm telling you,
I hope so.
yeah, I hope so. I'm with you. I mean, you get up every morning thinking, aha, I thought the first memo, aha. But, then they have their counterpoints and they just muddy the water. The next thing I read this morning is Mark Warner is chatting with the Ruskies, and he wants it kept hush-hush. And then Rubio covers for him, saying, "No, we knew this 4 months ago. Why didn't it come out?"
What happens, Gene?
Need to know.
There are going to be indictments. People are going to jail. People that you never believed would. That is going to happen. They have.
Who's going to make it happen?
They have so much intel
What happened?
now that they're not even releasing. Now the NSA, I believe, is working a little with Trump, and they have information that would blow your mind. They're just waiting to do it because it's just so inflammatory. Is just an understated word. There are going to be indictments. Huge names are going to go to jail. Period.
I just don't know
It's
who's
going
going
to
to pull
be
that
huge.
trigger because it's such an old boy network. Old girl
Well,
network.
but I'm gonna tell you, there's some people in there. There's a faction now at the Pentagon that have always wanted to come forth, but they couldn't because their careers would have been ruined if they said one thing. I mean, it is serious.
Well, in my
But I'll
mind,
tell you,
you
it's
mentioned
with you.
gonna come
You
down.
mentioned Pentagon. To me, it's almost a military operation.
I'm with you 100%.
That's what you call the shadow government. Or
I'm with
even-
you 100%
gonna
on
happen.
what the indictments. We got them ready. Everything's there. Everything's done. But then I got to go.
There's
I'm like with
more.
Bruce.
There's
who's
more that's
who's
gotta
going to
come
do
out.
it? Who's going to do it?
It's got to be so slam dunk that even Corny Joe has got to admit.
Corny Joe. Remember that?
I mean,
Corny
I
Joe.
detest that man. I
Is
hate
that
to
Morning
say
Joe
that.
or is that
I
Joe
do.
Biden?
That's-
Joe, the big nose guy, Joe, Morning Joe,
Morning
Coffee
Joe.
Joe.
All right, all right,
Joe
all right, all right,
Scarborough.
all right,
Yeah,
all right,
yeah,
all right, all right,
yeah.
all right, all right. We're not quite there, so we got about 8 minutes. So I won't want to waste no time. Bruce, what say you?
Last in the series.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Remember, we've been talking about the Saul Alinsky rules for radicals. The last two, we already did healthcare, poverty, debt, gun control, welfare, education, religion. Remove the people's belief in God from government and schools. No ideology or authority can supersede the power of the state.
There you go.
Right where we are. Class warfare. Divide
we
the
go.
people into warring factions, wealthy versus poor. This will foster further discontent, animosity, and justify raising taxes necessary for the redistribution of income through social programs.
And we are rolling down the road.
8 big points, to
Obama did that,
destabilize
for sure.
our government. It's sad.
It's
What say you, Rick?
How about some winners and losers?
Oh yeah, Rick started winners and losers last week. Okay, you got
I
winners.
still think the winner in this budget deal is going to be the military. Get the planes flying, get the ships floating, get everything working the way it should, and we'll still be the largest force in the world.
Okay.
Don't disagree with that.
The losers, the NFL. Viewership was down 7.7%. Excuse me, in the Super Bowl. Down from last year, and it's been steadily declining for a good bit during the season and during the Super Bowl. 7% down, that's a big number. That's a big number.
What say you?
Well, I think on the NFL side, I think that unfortunately the Eagles are losers. I rooted for the Eagles, and now they're saying they're not going to go meet Trump, right?
Some aren't.
3.
Then
three
three of
so
them
far.
are. I mean, gee whiz. I mean, so that's a bad thing. The winners, y'all aren't going to agree with me, but I think the winners are this week with all the memos. The Patriots are the winners because it's coming out. I think
Not the Patriots football
Not the
team.
football
No,
team.
Not Bill
not the
Belichick.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, you went from
God.
Eagles to
I
Patriots.
did. I
You did. We were trying to help you. We're reeling you
The
back in.
American people
Are the winners.
Yeah, I think we're one
I like
up
that,
now.
Jane.
We're one up.
I like
We're
that,
getting
Jane.
better.
I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. Now, last week, I am becoming very fond of General Kelly.
Well,
Okay.
tell me more. I don't know about him.
All right, and I've been taking my time on this, but there's little things that he does, like the Dreamers. He implied that some of them may be lazy ass immigrants.
You think?
Remember, right?
Yeah, he did.
And I love that.
I love that.
But he inspired a new segment for my show throughout the week.
Not
okay?
Antonio, though.
And he inspired a new segment, and it's called my "You Could Go to Hell" segment. And he was with Sean Hannity, and you remember the professor or whatever that was talking about the military, and Sean Hannity
Yeah.
asked General Kelly what he thought, and the first thing he says, "Well, I think he can go to hell." Remember, right?
Yeah.
So we have started I have "You Can Go to Hell" segment, and we're going to have a winner every week of "You Can Go to Hell." And my winner of the I keep saying that "You Can Go to Hell" segment this past week was Howie Long's son, Chris Long.
Yeah.
All right. And you know what? Chris Long and his other Eagle friends could go to hell. All right? Because I'm going to tell you, Edwin Jackson of the ball that played for the Indianapolis Colts would probably love the opportunity to play for the Colts, win a Super Bowl, and go to the White House. But instead, he was killed this past week by Maynard. What's the Uber driver's name?
The drunk driver?
Huh? All right, but the Uber driver and Edwin Jackson was killed by an illegal that had been deported and back in here. All right?
Both of them were killed.
Both killed. Right. So I think he would love to have had the opportunity to win the Super Bowl and go to the White House. So you Eagles, you know where you can go. Now, the Patriots are the winners, not in football, like my friend Jane said. The American Patriots, you are the winners because it will come out and it'll continue to come out. I want to say this. I'm not opposed to military spending. I'm not opposed to the military having enough money to make our ships float and our planes fly. I support that 100%. But I just think it's interesting, and I'm so tired of their brainwashing, manipulating the daily story to see what they could get you to believe or what the crisis of the day is. Now, we can't come up with $25 billion because we'll blow a hole in the budget. It's useless, and they scream on the floor over $25 billion for border security. But in the middle of the night, we could find $300 to $400 billion on a 700-page bill and pass it right along. Folks, I am of the point there's nothing you can believe coming out of Congress right now, because I'm not a Republican. I want to be clear. The Republicans just told me a better lie. And now that they've lied so bad about debt, that they were fiscal, there's no such thing as a fiscal conservative anymore. They lied about the debt. They lied about repealing Obamacare. They lie. When Nancy Pelosi goes to the floor, you expect her to lie. Chuck Schumer goes to the floor, you expect her to lie. Dick Durbin goes to the floor, you expect him to lie. You expect that. But every once in a while, you'd hope one of our side would tell us the damn truth.
There are not many of them.
I'm sorry, I wasn't supposed to say that.
There's
No,
a good analogy, Butch said that, about the $15 billion for the wall. You know how the Democrats say, we can't find that, it's impossible. They had no trouble giving away $150 billion to Iran.
The list goes on.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
$400 billion
it's
last night. They could find
10% of that.
They could find
Cash ballot.
150. No, you're 100%. We could sit here for an hour and say, all right, here's this many billion. It's border security.
Yep.
Period.
Think about this. In all of that, they subsidize rum. What were the other subsidies? There's subsidies that are
NASCAR.
freaking car. And why don't they?
That was close. That was close.
Why don't
Watch
they
the base. Watch the base.
Why don't they subsidize education? Why don't they pay teachers more so we'll have better teachers? Oh, that's
You need to hold the loving bear.
Okay.
All right, that calms you
Serenity
down.
Why don't they substitute teachers?
Serenity now.
Oh,
Let's talk
Okay,
Formula
We
One.
need to subsidize the salary of teachers, education, because they're dumbing down. Our kids are getting dumbed down. They're subsidizing rum, NASCAR. Give me a break.
I went for you. There's a town in California that's going to get $1 million from a group, and they're going to pay people a minimum wage for a year. They're going to pick like 20 or 40 people, and they're
From
going to give
whom?
them a minimum wage for a year to see how it affects their self-esteem.
Oh my God. You're kidding.
folks, it's Friday, and before the show leaves, before we leave with the show, especially this segment, because we do winners and losers, I want to do mine. And I want to give my winner, not losers, I just want to give my winners of the week, okay? My losers, God, you hear that all week long if you tune in, all right? But my winners this week, Amanda and Samantha,
Yeah.
okay?
Yay.
Because let me tell you something, okay?
What'd they do?
I'm going to tell you what they did. I mean, Bruce, put up with me. There you go, Bruce. No, let me tell you why this is. Amanda's come on board. Samantha has trained Amanda, and they've worked together in the program. It's going great. The other day, and I want to throw Blair in there too. The other day, you know, next thing I know, Amanda, Samantha, Blair, they're thinking of new things we could do to get the viewership up. And, you know, hey, they're doing it. We're even going to start doing small little video clips of what's coming up in the morning that's going to go on YouTube and Facebook. We're gonna do some different live stuff that they're doing. I'm a little nervous about it, but they've asked me to trust them. Okay, you should. You see, that's what I hear. But they have done an outstanding job taking care of things, making things happen on a daily basis. We hit our technical difficulties from time to time, but what's going on with FYN TV, my shout outs to them and the entire staff. And as soon as we get back, we're going to talk sports with Jason Banks, Team FYN Sports, because we got guys wrestling down in Macon from 10 different schools, and Jason's ready to tell you some updates of the state wrestling down in Macon for high school. You guys good?
Yeah.
Okay. Jane, you're right on the memo, 100%, and I'm with you. My hope is indictments. I'm with Jane. We're with
happen.
Jane on indictments.
It's gonna
Oh,
happen.
man.
It
Yeah.
was said here first, right?
I
And
want
so if
to see
if-
who pulls the trigger.
And if I get
be.
if
It's gonna
I get very serious about the haircut, it's around $12.
I can get you done for 12.
All right. Oh,
There's a tip. There's
I'll do
always a
it for
tip.
free. I'll do it
all
for
right, all right. Calm down out there.
free. I'll do it for free.
All right, well, I've got a free $12. I'll tell you.
Do I hear 10?
No, give me $100. I'll go get a haircut. Hey, I'll be right back with sports right after this.
You can look like Ron.
You got to go to Atlanta for that.
$100
there.
Medium Pizza Hut pizzas just $5.99 each.
Did they say Pizza Hut?
For $5.99?
Yes, and yes.
Yes! Introducing the deal you want on the pizza you crave. 2 medium pizzas just $5.99 each. No one out pizzas the hot.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
Days Chevrolet in Jasper is dropping the hammer. Over $11,000 off MSRP on new Silverados. Just look what we've done to the price on this new LT Crew Cab. Save over $11,000 and pay just $32,500. And Days Chevy is dropping the hammer in a big way on all new Chevy Malibus. Save over $6,500 and pay just $17,900. The savings are real and they're big at Days Chevrolet in Jasper.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
I've had the time of my life. I never felt like this before. I swear it's the truth, and I owe it all to you. this could be love, because I've had the time of my life. I've never felt like this before, 'cause I've had the time of my life.
Hey, we're back. I'm your host, BKP, and it's time for North Georgia Sports Week in Review with Team FYN Sports Director Jason Banks. Jason, how you doing?
Good.
Now let's go right to wrestling. Are we good with that? You ready to go right there?
Yep.
We have the guys down in Macon this weekend, right?
That's right.
And a lot going on, so just tell us. Let's just jump right in it. Jason Banks, Director of Team FYN Sports.
Yeah, so of course we got several different schools competing in wrestling at state this weekend. The notable ones that we've been following, of course, Gilmer sit 12 guys down there. Expect them to do pretty well. They started wrestling yesterday. Fannin had 3 guys go down. They weighed in yesterday. They'll be wrestling today. And Union, first time ever, they've got a wrestler that's competing at state, and we're going to be following him really close. He'll be wrestling today as well in the 145-pound class. As far as what's happened so far, Gilmer off to a pretty good start. Caleb Waddell, a name to remember, may have heard the name Waddell before when he talked Gilmer wrestling, right? Of course, we know that his brother, great wrestler that wrestles for Oklahoma now, Boomer Sooner. But Caleb Waddell started off great. He's 34-2, won his first 2 matches yesterday, and he's 2 wins away from winning a state championship. He's got to go through Nolan Sorrow from Jefferson. Jefferson won the duels state championship, so these guys from Gilmer and also from Pickens are very familiar with Jefferson's wrestlers and what they can do. You can expect that Waddell's studied up. He'll be wrestling Sorrow later today. Tristan Kendall won both of his matches yesterday as well. He's 2 wins away. Then Anthony Zilke, who's 39-6 on the season, he's also 2 wins away, and he's a super heavyweight guy, one of the big boys in the 285-pound class. Another wrestler that we follow that's that weight class that's 3A would be Bradley Flowers, but he does really well. He won area, took 3rd at sectional, made a mistake, lost the match, came back, finished 3rd. The guy that he beat to win area actually won sectional, so there's a possibility that we could see those guys wrestling for a state championship before that's all over with as well. And then Ryan Crump, I've talked about him all season long. He won his first match, and then he stumbled. He fell and lost to De La Cruz of Cartersville in the 182-pound class. So his championship hopes are over, unfortunately. But he's had a really great season. In the 160 class, we've got Michael Burrell of Pickens. Finally talk about one of our Pickens wrestlers. He's done really well this year. He won both of his first matches. He's 2 matches now away from a state championship. Lo and behold, on the other side of that bracket to get there, though, we've got Grant Ledford from Gilmer, who won both of his first matches yesterday. So there is a possibility that Burrell and Ledford could meet each other in the final.
That'd be an interesting matchup, being it's in Macon, it's the states, but it's going to be a Pickens-Gilmer matchup.
Yeah, we're really hoping we get that because, of course, Luther will be sending Luther down there on Saturday to cover the championship matches, and we're looking forward to his coverage, and we're hoping this is one that he'll get to cover for us. So we'll be able to pick up 2 of our local kids right there wrestling each other for all the bragging rights, as you could say.
Folks, Team FYN Sports, we want you to go, we're asking you to go find Team FYN Sports on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, Team FYN Sports. I don't want to interrupt that, but I do want to make a comment about you. Overwhelmingly, Team FYN Sports, overwhelmingly, the comments about our coverage for the Park and Rec basketball. I spoke to a lady yesterday, and I'll just tell you, it kind of sums up why I do this and why Team FYN Sports and you and so many put work into it. Is I bumped into a lady yesterday, and she said to me, my mom got to watch I think in Athens, okay? And she said, the big thing is, last year my mom was able to come to the games, and she's got some pretty serious health issues, and she could not come to the game, but she was able to watch her granddaughter. And I was like, oh man, that was like, okay, that's like every reason.
Worth it, right?
Yeah, it's every reason why we do it.
Yeah. Awesome.
So our Team FYN Sports, if you missed any of those basketball games, you can go watch those on our YouTube channel, FYN TV, Fetcher News YouTube channel. What else you got there on tap before we get to our Pet of the Week?
Well, we were just talking about there's a possibility of a Gilmer and a Pickens wrestling final in the championship. We already had a Gilmer and Pickens wrestler matchup yesterday, though. Zach Meadows from Pickens, he's 2 wins away now from winning his state championship in the traditional tournament. He defeated Logan Bentley from Gilmer yesterday. Tough loss for Bentley, big win for Meadows, so congratulations to him moving forward. And then just real quick, that's what we've got going on in wrestling. We're real excited about following our other wrestlers as well. Basketball-wise, the Dragonettes are the only really local basketball team that we've got left that we're following. For the first time in school history, they secured the opportunity to host a 4A state tournament game. They beat Heritage last night. They advanced to the region championship, Region 6 Quad A, and they'll be facing the winner of the Northwest Whitfield and Gilmer game tonight. So
they'll be hosting that one.
That's correct.
And when will that one take place? We
don't have a date yet. But
don't have a date. Waiting for the Northwest Whitfield Gilmer game tonight.
Right.
And Pickens Dragonettes will be hosting that. The winner.
They'll play the region championship. My understanding is they host that game, but they're also going to be hosting a game in the Quad A state tournament.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay. I got
Yep.
that. I got that.
And then Murphy basketball. I've been following the Dogs and the Lady Dogs over there. They had a bye. The Lady Dogs had a bye last night. Last night. They don't play until Monday. They play the winner of Hayesville and Rossman, which Hayesville won 54-42. So Murphy will be playing Hayesville on Monday. Cherokee defeated Andrews, which we expected that. 2 days before that game, which Tuesday they put up 102 points to 34 in their big win there. So pretty good basketball team. They'll face Robbinsville on Monday, and then the winner of those two, which we are anticipating will be Cherokee, the Lady Braves, and Murphy Lady Dogs will play next Friday in that championship game for their region, Smoky Mountain region. And then last but not least, baseball season is beginning.
Right.
Next Friday. Got a couple of away games for Fannin, and then Monday they'll be hosting Gilmer.
The following Monday.
February 22nd.
They'll be hosting Gilmer.
That's correct. You ready?
I'll have to practice because I'm in the booth.
I know.
So I'll have to practice.
Come out and listen to BKP as he calls
the
games.
Voice of the Fannin Rebels, I'll have to practice. Let's see. 1 out. Man on first and second. That brings Jack Gobble to the plate. Ducks on the pond. I'll have to go home and do all my ducks on the pond.
Practice up. Got your cigar out there on the porch and just
left 2 stranded on the bags. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. I got it. I'm getting ready. But baseball season is ready. Jason, I appreciate all the updates. You can find everything on Team FYN Sports. Go to FetcherNews.com and find your county and just click on Team FYN Sports. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, Team FYN Sports today for all the updates. Everything you hear here, Jason and the entire Team FYN Sports staff. They're posting all the time, and we're getting everything put up. I want to congratulate who is my quarterback up there?
Cole Wright.
Want to congratulate Cole Wright for signing with Army this past week, and also where did
Rummy went to Shorter.
yeah. Want to congratulate Brumby down there and Pickens for signing in Shorter, and we know we got a lot of other ones, but those are a couple guys we followed this year in football.
Yep.
I've got to go to the pet of the week, but you do know the Winter Olympics is going on.
Yes.
Okay. So let me just put this into perspective to close. Winter Olympics is going on, meaning you are Team FYN Sports, and next week I will expect a full update, stats, everything, standings on curling. Okay?
It's like, I know there's so many viewers that have been emailing somebody asking for that. I don't know who's getting the emails, but
That's right. They want the stats. All the viewers want to know. We'll be right back with the Pet of the Week from the Humane Society of Blue Ridge. Check out Jason Banks. You got a new show coming up?
Yes.
You going to tell them the name?
Instant Replay.
Coming up first week of February. Instant Replay with Jason Banks. March.
First week of March, yeah.
Oh, it's February now, right?
Time flies and we're having fun.
March.
Yeah. Yep. If you want to be a part of the show.
Hey, that is exactly, you just witnessed exactly why my winners of the week are over there, not here. Okay? So, March 1st, instant replay with Jason Banks, a 30-minute show completely with highlights and everything going on in North Georgia sports. Have a nice day, bud. All right? Pet of the week as soon as we return.
Kenty Artesian Silver and Gifts, the Peruvian shop, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Fine sterling silver, luxurious baby alpaca and exotic woods. A beautiful selection of exquisitely crafted gifts for all of your special occasions. Visit our website, artesiansilvergifts.com, or follow us on Twitter at Artesian Silver Gifts. Kenty Artesian Silver and Gifts, the Peruvian shop in downtown Blue Ridge. Papa's Pizza to Go in downtown Blue Ridge is the best in the area all-you-can-eat buffet. Call ahead or order online now at papaspizzatogo.com. Use our convenient pickup window for the best in pizza, subs, wings, breadsticks, salads, and more. And be sure to check out our lively game room. We serve lunch and dinner, catering available, take out or dine in. Papa's Pizza to Go in Blue Ridge, proud sponsors of the Fannin County Rebels.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there. All I do is win, win.
The Tupelo Tea mission is to provide over 80 premium tea blends for tea lovers who are looking for ways to explore new flavors and blends. Come visit Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Be sure to sample our various varieties of honey and tea. Visit us on the web at tupelotea.com or call us at 706-946-TEAS. That's TEAS. Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment, All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Hey Rebel fans, come visit the Dairy Queen Grill and Chill of Blue Ridge, Fannin County High School's Meet, Eat, and Treat headquarters. Highway 5 in Blue Ridge. Proud sponsors of the Fannin County Rebels.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Hey, we're back, and it's time for our Pet of the Week from the Humane Society in Blue Ridge. I've been told to use my inside voice. This is my inside voice. This is how I talk when I'm inside. I'm sorry.
Only because Lucy's afraid, not for any other reason, just that she's a little afraid.
Oh, so you meant for me to just bring it down a little bit?
Yeah, not be so sexy. That was an interesting inside voice. Anyway, want me to talk about Lucy?
No. Okay. Am I red?
Oh, yeah.
Lucy's red.
Here you go. Here's Lucy. There you go. Okay, folks.
I guess I got you on that one.
This is the Humane Society of Blue Ridge. I have Lucy here with me. She's a beautiful young lady. She's about a year old. Tell us a little bit about Lucy, Rena.
Lucy is an owner surrender. She is a little bit over a year. She is a red bull terrier. She is the sweetest dog you can ever imagine. She's very nervous around new people, but it's only in a shaking matter. She doesn't have a mean streak in her body.
She's very calm.
Very calm. When you see her play, she's just really funny because she runs, and then there's this hop, and she plays with toys. She loves riding in vehicles. She loves laying in the sun. She loves being with her human. She's just a great companion. She will do everything with you or just lay around with you because she is just so sweet. If you have another dog, that would have to be a meet and greet. Some dogs are iffy. Most of the dogs at the kennel she does get along with. But cats, we say no. Or you really have to, teach. There's a lot of dogs you have to teach about the cat, not to chase. So
that's okay, Lucy.
Be nice.
Lucy's, I think she's around 30, high 30s or early 40 pounds.
You don't have to love the cat. I didn't say nothing. Can you hear that at home?
No.
Lucy.
I heard nothing. But again, she is just a sweetheart. She really is. And because it does take time for her to warm up to people, if you come out to the Humane Society and you want to meet Lucy, we'll put you and Lucy in the hallway. And it could take a couple of trips for her to get to realize that you're not going to hurt her because she's just really scared with new people. But once she loves you, oh man, that's it. She is just all yours, 100%. And she's a dog that you just don't see in this.
Now, what did you tell me earlier? Did you say bull terrier? What did you say?
Red bull terrier.
Red bull terrier, because she's beautiful.
She is.
I mean, she's absolutely beautiful. And you know I'm talking about you.
Yes,
you know I'm talking about you. Yes, you have pretty eyes too.
Yeah.
So, and you got to look at this. You got your little hearts on
Valentine's Day.
there. I was going to let you see my bear, but I thought you might think it was a chew toy, and we didn't want you to think my bear is a chew toy. The Humane Society of Blue Ridge, yes, schedule the meet and greet because that's very important. They work very hard at the Humane Society of Blue Ridge to do what we call a forever home for the pet. And to do that, the meet and greet is very important. You know, you don't want to come and, you know, adopt a pet and then 3 weeks later return it. It's tough on you and your family to do that, go through it, but it's emotional.
Yes,
for the dog. Yeah. So, you know, they thought they had 3 squares a day and a nice place to rest, and the next thing they know, they're back there with cats. Sorry. I mean, I'm sorry about that.
And they still get their squares a day, and they get lots of loving.
Yeah, but I mean, I understand that, but it's the whole cat thing. I mean, we'll get past
They're
that.
on a different side.
Oh, yeah, okay. On the cat, you don't have to. Do you not have to go down the cat wing?
No.
Lucy
not
is
at all.
beautiful, but what they do is they work very hard on the meet and greet. You schedule a meet and greet. If you have a dog, you need to bring the pet. If you have children, the family. So anytime you're wanting to adopt from the Humane Society of Blue Ridge, we need to schedule the meet and greet. Bring your pet, bring your family, and that way we can see if everything fits together, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's a good idea. First you would come, obviously, and you would see a dog that you like, and then you say, well, I have a dog. And I'm like, okay, let's schedule a meet and greet. And then we see if the 2 dogs get together, or the kids, and even, you know, the husband and wife. If the wife comes and the husband didn't, we want the husband to come and like the dog, you know?
Well, let me ask you a question. So what you also do is this is set up so you can work to try to see if the dog is going to adapt in the family with children,
Yes.
older children, young children, and so forth. And right now, what are you seeing with Lucy? What would you think? Companion dog?
Well, she'd definitely be a companion dog. Kids, you know, we're just going to have to see. She has seen a family did come out, and I think they had 3 kids, and they really loved her, but you know, they just decided not to adopt at that time. So it's one of those things. It depends on the
Right.
child. Is the child going to respect any dog, not just Lucy, but any dog? Because you can't go around pulling ears and
Right, exactly.
looking in mouths.
You can't? Leaves me out. Quickly, there's the whole process that when you take in, whether it's an owner surrender or wherever when you rescue a dog, whatever the situation is, the dog goes through a process, or the pet, even the cats,
Oh, yes.
before they're available for adoption.
Yes.
Explain that just a little bit.
Yeah, it's every dog and cat will go through a 14-day intake process where they're kept in intake for 14 days, making sure there's no diseases to pass over to our general population, dog or cat side. They are fully vetted. They are microchipped when they're spayed or neutered, and they're spayed and neutered depending on, you know, if they need to be or if they already were. Wormed, the whole 9 yards before they go into general pop, so that when you decide to adopt a dog from us or a cat from us, they're healthy. You know, it's a healthy animal. And adoption for dogs is $200, and the cats are $100. And like I said, they're fully vetted. They're microchipped. I mean, they're ready to go as soon as you come over and meet them and decide that, like, Lucy's the dog for you.
Folks, tell them your website, phone number, location, and give them the information.
Yes, visit us on humanesocietyofblueridge.org. Go on there. You'll see the dogs there. You can see our dogs in Pet Finder putting in your zip code. Follow us on Facebook. We show lost dogs, found dogs, dogs that need rehoming, and of course all of our dogs that need to be adopted. And call us at 706-632-4357. And we're located at 171 Mineral Springs Road, which is just off of Aska. We're open Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 10 to 5, and Saturday is 10 to 2.
Lucy is looking for her forever home. This is a beautiful dog, very calm. To me, would make a great companion, right? Mm-hmm. Lucy, tell him. Look at that. I know. Yeah. We'll talk later. Okay, Lucy looking for her forever home. That's the Humane Society of Blue Ridge.org. Got that correct? Mm-hmm. Okay, and don't forget, go there, check out all of their pets and also the cats. There's a lot of cats for adoption and dogs for adoption there, and they're ready for you to contact them. So is Lucy. So adopt Lucy today and help her find her forever home, or any of the pets at Humane Society of Blue Ridge. Thank you very much, Rena.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll be back Monday morning in the office, 8 a.m. at yntv.com. You have a great weekend.